I'm sitting in a police station right now as I record this. My hands are shaking. There are officers outside this room discussing my case, and I can hear words like cybercrime, defamation, criminal charges, and 35 years. 35 years. I'm only 19 years old. My whole life is supposed to be ahead of me, but instead, I'm staring at the possibility of spending more than half of it behind bars. My name is Nancy, and I need to tell you how I got here before it's too late for someone else. Before another spoiled, foolish girl like me thinks she can do whatever she wants without consequences. My mother always told me I was special. She told me I was smarter than everyone else. She told me the rules didn't apply to me because we had money, because we had status, because we were better. She was wrong. And now, as I wait for my father to fly in from the UK to try and save me, as I realize my mother has disappeared and won't even answer her phone, I understand something I should have learned a long time ago. Nobody is untouchable. Nobody is above the law. And the higher you climb on lies and wickedness, the harder and more painful the fall becomes. This is my story. The story of how I destroyed my own life, one bad decision at a time. Let me take you back to where it all started. Benin City, 2019. I was 15 years old and attending one of the most expensive private schools in Edo State. My father worked in the UK as an engineer, sending money home every month. My mother was a medical doctor at the University of Benin Teaching Hospital, earning over 600,000 naira monthly. We weren't super rich, but we were comfortable. Very comfortable. And my parents, especially my mother, made sure I knew we were better than most people. I had everything I wanted. The latest phones. Designer school bags. Expensive shoes. I was that girl in school who other students envied and admired. But there was one thing I couldn't have. The headmaster's son, Emmanuel. Emmanuel was in SS3, 2 classes above me. He was tall, handsome, intelligent, and completely uninterested in me. I tried everything. I smiled at him in the hallways. I offered to help him with assignments. I even asked my friends to tell him I liked him. Nothing worked. And then I found out why. There was a boy in his class named Chidi. They were always together. Too close. Too comfortable. And one day, I saw them holding hands behind the school chapel. I should have minded my business. I should have moved on. But I was 15, spoiled, and used to getting what I wanted. So I did something terrible. I went to the headmaster and I lied. I told him that Chidi had been forcing himself on me. That he had threatened me. That I was scared to come to school because of him. I cried real tears. I made my voice shake. I played the victim perfectly. The headmaster believed me at first. He called Chidi and Emmanuel to his office. He was about to suspend Chidi when Emmanuel broke down and told the truth. He told his father everything. About their relationship, about how I had been chasing him for months, about how I was lying. The headmaster was furious, but not at his son. At me. He called my mother to the school. I thought she would be angry at me too. I thought she would apologize and beg for mercy. But she didn't. She stood in that office and she defended me. She said, "My daughter would never lie. Your son is trying to cover up his shameful behavior by attacking her character." The headmaster looked at her with disgust. He said, "Madam, we have CCTV footage of your daughter following my son around for weeks. We have messages she sent to him. We have witnesses. Your daughter is a liar and a troublemaker, and I want her out of my school." My mother grabbed my hand and we walked out of that office with our heads held high. She didn't scold me in the car. She didn't ask me why I lied. She just said, "Don't worry. Those people think they're better than us. We'll find you a better school." But we both knew the truth. No private school in Benin would accept me after what I did. So she enrolled me in a federal government school. A basic, ordinary school with ordinary students and ordinary facilities. I hated it from the first day. My first day at federal government college was a disaster. The buildings were old. The classrooms were crowded. The students looked at me strangely because I arrived in my mother's expensive car wearing designer clothes. I felt out of place, angry, and ready to make everyone's life miserable. During break time, there was a woman who sold popcorn and ground nuts near the school gate. All the students bought from her because the school didn't have a proper canteen. I walked up to her table and I saw her popcorn displayed in small clear bags. I picked up 3 bags and started walking away without paying. The woman called after me. "Excuse me, young girl, you didn't pay." I turned around and looked at her with the most disgusted expression I could manage. I said, "Do you know who I am? My mother is a doctor. I don't pay for small things like this." The woman's face changed. She walked up to me, snatched the popcorn from my hands, and said loudly so everyone could hear, "I don't care if your mother is the president of Nigeria. You will pay for what you take from me or you will not take it at all." Students started gathering around us, laughing, pointing at me. I felt embarrassed, humiliated. So I did what I always did when I was caught. I lied. I started crying. I said the woman had insulted me, called me names, pushed me. A teacher came out to see what the commotion was about. But this teacher was smart. She asked other students what happened, and they all told the truth. I had tried to steal. The teacher took me to the principal's office, and I was given a warning. One more incident like this and I would be suspended. I called my mother from the principal's office, crying, telling her the school was treating me badly, that a teacher had embarrassed me in front of everyone. My mother didn't even ask what I did wrong. She just said, "Don't worry. I'll come to that school tomorrow and deal with them." And she did. She came the next day and she shouted at the principal, threatened to report the school to the Ministry of Education, claimed they were targeting her daughter because we had money. The principal just looked at her tiredly and said, "Madam, your daughter tried to steal. We have witnesses. If you cannot correct her behavior at home, we will correct it here." But my mother never corrected me. She never sat me down and asked me why I was behaving this way. She just kept defending me, enabling me, making me believe I could do whatever I wanted without consequences. That's when I met Jason. Jason was not a student. He was a 23-year-old guy who hung around outside the school, selling phone accessories and chatting up schoolgirls. He was handsome in a rough way, with a smooth tongue and empty promises. He approached me one day after school and said, "You're too fine to be in this kind of school. You deserve better." I was 16 and hungry for attention. I fell for it immediately. We started dating within 2 weeks. Jason taught me things I had never done before. He taught me how to sneak out of school during break periods. There was a small hole in the fence behind the biology lab that led to a bushy path. During our long break between lessons, I would slip through that hole and meet Jason on the other side. He would take me to shopping malls, buy me clothes, shoes, bags, perfumes. Expensive things. I never asked where he got the money. I didn't care. I would return to school before the break ended, hiding my shopping bags in my locker, and no one suspected anything. I wore the new clothes and shoes home, and my mother never asked questions. Never. A 16-year-old girl coming home with designer items every week, and my mother, a medical doctor who should know better, never once asked me where I got them from. She just smiled and said, "My daughter has good taste." But Jason was using me. He was taking pictures of me in those clothes, posting them online, showing me off to his friends like I was some kind of trophy. And he was also seeing other girls. Multiple girls. I found out months later when one of them confronted me at a mall. She said, "You think you're special? Jason has 5 of us. We're all just his toys." I was heartbroken, angry, but I didn't leave him. Because by then, I had already become addicted to the lifestyle. The gifts. The attention. The feeling of being someone important. Then I met Daniel. Daniel was in my class. SS2. He was quiet, unassuming, the kind of boy teachers loved because he always submitted his assignments and never caused trouble. But Daniel had a secret. He was into Yahoo. Internet fraud. And he was making serious money from it. I noticed him because of his shoes. One day he came to school wearing Balenciaga sneakers that cost over 200,000 naira. The next week, he had a new iPhone 13 Pro Max. The teachers didn't notice because Daniel was smart. He dressed down most days, kept a low profile, only flashed his wealth occasionally. But I noticed. And I wanted in. I started talking to him during break. Casual conversation at first, then I made my move. I started flirting with him, touching his arm when I laughed at his jokes, telling him he was different from other boys, more mature, more intelligent. Daniel fell for it hard. He started giving me money. At first, it was 20,000 here, 30,000 there. Then it became 50,000. Then 100,000. Then more. I didn't like Daniel. Not even a little bit. He wasn't handsome. He wasn't smooth like Jason. But he had money, and I had learned that money was more important than feelings. So I played the role of the perfect girlfriend. I called him every night. I sent him sweet messages. I laughed at his jokes even when they weren't funny. And in return, he showered me with cash and gifts. My mother saw all of this happening. She saw me coming home with new bags every week, new shoes, new clothes, bundles of cash hidden in my school bag. She knew something was wrong. She's a doctor, not a fool. But she never stopped me. In fact, she encouraged me. She would say things like, "Nancy, you're a smart girl. Use what you have to get what you want. These boys have money, let them spend it on you." She turned me into a user. A manipulator. A girl who saw people as tools to get what I wanted. I broke up with Jason when I realized Daniel had more money. I blocked his number, ignored his messages, and when he came to my school to confront me, I had Daniel's friends chase him away. Jason called me a heartless witch. He was right. For almost a year, my life was good. I had money. I had status. I was feared and respected in school. Teachers tried to discipline me, but my mother would storm into the school and threaten them. She would say, "Do you know who I am? I'm a doctor at the teaching hospital. If you people continue stressing my daughter, I will make sure you lose your jobs." The teachers backed off. They were tired of dealing with both of us. I started cutting classes. I would leave school whenever I wanted, go to the mall, get my hair and nails done, eat at expensive restaurants, and return home like I had been in school all day. My mother knew. She saw my report cards, saw that I was failing most of my subjects, but she didn't care. As long as I was happy and living the life she wanted for me, nothing else mattered. But then, I made the biggest mistake of my life. I got involved in something I should never have touched. Cybercrime. Defamation. Revenge. And it all started because of a boy named Alex. Alex was a quiet, intelligent boy who was preparing for university entrance exams just like the rest of us. We were in SS3 by this time, 2022, and everyone was focused on JAM, on getting into good schools, on building their future. Everyone except me. I was still busy with my schemes, my fraud boyfriend Daniel, and my enabling mother. Alex and I had never spoken before. We weren't friends. We weren't enemies. We were just classmates who existed in the same space. But then something happened that made me hate him. Daniel, my fraud boyfriend, the one who had been giving me money for over a year, suddenly broke up with me. He sent me a text message saying, "Nancy, I can't do this anymore. You don't really love me, you just love my money. I'm done." I was shocked. Angry. How dare he break up with me? How dare he cut off my source of income? I found out later that Alex had spoken to Daniel. They were friends, and Alex had noticed how I was using Daniel. He told Daniel the truth, that I was just playing him for money, that I was also seeing other guys, that I didn't care about him at all. Daniel believed Alex and ended things with me. I was furious. I wanted revenge. So I did something unforgivable. I started a campaign of lies and defamation against Alex online. I created fake social media accounts and I started posting his pictures everywhere, claiming he was a thief, a ritualist, a cultist, a rapist. I made up stories about him attacking girls at night, stealing from his neighbors, being involved in dark practices. I spread these lies to every student group, every school forum, every social media page I could find. I wanted to destroy him completely. Alex started getting threatening messages. People he didn't know were calling him a criminal. His parents were getting calls from concerned relatives asking if the rumors were true. The boy was suffering, and I didn't care. I felt powerful. I felt like I was finally in control. If Daniel thought he could embarrass me by breaking up with me, I would show him what real embarrassment looked like by destroying his friend. But Alex wasn't stupid. He knew it was me. He reported the situation to the school authorities, but my mother came and defended me again. She said, "My daughter would never do such a thing. This boy is just trying to tarnish her image because she rejected him." The school couldn't prove it was me because I had used fake accounts, so they let it go. Then Alex did something smart. He reported the case to the university police. The school was part of the University of Benin teaching hospital complex, so they had jurisdiction. The university police took the case seriously. They tracked my fake accounts. They found my IP address. They discovered evidence of everything I had posted. And they invited me and my mother for questioning. I denied everything. I cried. I acted shocked that anyone would accuse me of such things. My mother backed me up, shouting at the officers, threatening to sue them for harassing her daughter. But the police had evidence. Screenshots. IP addresses. Timestamps. Everything. They gave me a stern warning. They said if I ever did anything like this again, I would be arrested and charged with cybercrime and defamation. My mother was also warned that if she continued enabling my behavior, she would be held responsible as an accomplice. We left that police station and my mother was finally quiet. For the first time in my life, she looked scared. She looked at me in the car and said, "Nancy, you need to stop this nonsense. Do you know these people can send you to prison?" I nodded. I promised I would stop. I promised I had learned my lesson. But I was lying. Deep down, I still believed I was untouchable. I still believed nothing bad could really happen to me. 6 months passed. I got into university. My mother pulled strings and got me admitted to study medicine at the University of Benin, even though my grades were terrible. Life went back to normal. I thought the Alex situation was over. I thought I had gotten away with it. But evil has a way of coming back to finish what it started. 2 months ago, I started again. I don't even know why. Maybe I was bored. Maybe I missed the feeling of power I got from tearing people down online. Maybe I just never learned my lesson. I created new fake accounts and I started attacking people again. Random people. Classmates. People I had small disagreements with. I called them bastards. I insulted their mothers. I wished death on them and their families. I posted their pictures with false allegations. I became a monster hiding behind a screen. One of the people I attacked reported me to private security. Not school security. Not university police. A private security agency that specializes in cybercrime. They took the case seriously because what I was doing was criminal. They tracked me down faster than I expected. They found my real accounts connected to the fake ones. They collected evidence of every single post, every single threat, every single defamatory statement I had made over the past 2 years. 3 days ago, they came to my house. Plain-clothed officers with a warrant. My mother was at work. I was home alone. They arrested me. They took my phones, my laptop, everything. And they brought me here, to this station, where I have been sitting for 3 days waiting for someone to save me. I called my father in the UK. He was shocked, disappointed, heartbroken. He said he would take the next flight home, but it would take time. I called my mother multiple times. She's not answering. I don't know if she's scared, if she's ashamed, or if she has finally realized that her enabling has destroyed her daughter's life. All I know is, I'm alone. Completely alone. The officers have told me I'm facing charges of cybercrime, criminal defamation, harassment, and inciting violence. The lawyer they assigned to me said I could be looking at up to 35 years in prison if convicted on all counts. 35 years. I'm 19. By the time I get out, I'll be 54 years old. My life will be over before it even began. As I sit here in this cold room, with the reality of my situation finally sinking in, I keep asking myself one question. How did I get here? And the answer is simple. I got here because nobody ever told me no. I got here because my mother chose to be my friend instead of my parent. I got here because I believed lies were tools and people were toys. I got here because I thought money and status made me better than everyone else. I got here because I never faced consequences until it was too late. If you're watching this and you're a parent, please, I'm begging you, don't do what my mother did. Don't enable your children's bad behavior. Don't defend them when they're wrong. Don't make them believe they're above the law. Because the law doesn't care who your parents are or how much money you have. The law will catch up with you eventually, and when it does, the fall will break you. And if you're watching this and you're a young person like me, someone who thinks you can say or do whatever you want online without consequences, stop. Stop right now. The internet is not a playground. Your words have power. Your actions have consequences. And those consequences can destroy your entire future in ways you cannot imagine until it's too late. I don't know what's going to happen to me. I don't know if my father can save me. I don't know if I'll spend the next 35 years in prison or if somehow, by some miracle, I'll get a lighter sentence. But I do know this. Even if I walk out of here tomorrow, my life will never be the same. My name is ruined. My future is uncertain. And I have nobody to blame but myself. And my mother, who loved me so much that she destroyed me. This is Nancy. And this is my warning to you. Be careful. Be wise. And remember, nobody is untouchable.